No, I'm not a monk, but I play one in the music video, and I also am not a monk.
You already told us that.
I was looking for a new sound, and so I wound up combining ancient and modern. And I had tried writing other more mainstream types of music, and those never went anywhere. This one, once it got going, propelled itself along like none of the others did. Well, the band is virtual, so we're scattered around multiple locations in 3 different states, and so collaborating musically had to be done in a completely different way that I hadn't done before. It took roughly 4 years, but writing the music didn't take that long. But getting all the parts completed from my various virtual band members, that took a really long time, much longer than I expected. I don't have an exact date on that. I've always liked a lot of different types of music. I did have to take a class in college called Medieval and Renaissance Music History, where we studied Gregorian chant, and ironically it's probably the class I hated most. I started piano lessons at 9, and I started playing clarinet I think in 6th grade, and switched to bass clarinet in 7th, and anyway, played bass clarinet and piano pretty much all through college. I listened to a lot of different stuff, but my favorite ones, I have 3 favorites right now. They are Iona, a progressive rock band out of the UK. They've been around for over 20 years. Also Neil Morse, who's does a lot of Christian progressive music, really astonishingly talented guy. And then the newest addition to the rotation is a band called Frost, and they're also out of the UK and do progressive rock. As for my influences, my main influences are probably Keith Emerson of Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and Rick Wakeman of Yes, and numerous solo albums, and then all the switched on Bach records. So originally this project was going to be called Cantus Novus, which is Latin for new music. But before I could buy the domain name, somebody else got it. So it turned out to be a good thing, because if I named this Cantus Novus, I would have to explain that and spell it every time I told anyone what the name was. And actually I tried to think of some other clever Latin word or phrase, all of which would have had the same problem. I would have had to spell and explain every time. And so I decided just to call it what it is, Gregorian Rock. When I would write a piece of music, I would do everything myself, and I would record that, and let's say if I was sending it to a guitar player, I would record the version that had everything on it, including my attempt at guitar, and then I would record another version of it with the guitar track muted, and so both those would go off to one of my guitarists, and they would hear what I did, and then they would do, what they could make up their own part, and it was awesome, because they would do something that was much better than what I would have come up with, and much more authentic sounding. And so my favorite part would be when I would get all those parts back, and I would assemble them in the music software, and the song would come to life with all those tracks. That was just exhilarating, hearing it all come together like that. So all the usual, bass, guitar, drums, keyboards, but also this instrument the Chapman stick, which I just am a beginner on, but I'm having a lot of fun learning it. Also, a MIDI wind controller. I use this to do the flute and the oboe on the album, and it's awesome. And I'm going to be using it probably more extensively. This and the Chapman stick. They're going to have a bigger presence on the second album. One of my goals is to be the oldest, best new artist award winner. And I'm working on the next album already. So stay tuned.